Why are we buying clasps when a clasp breaks and not repairing them? It's so simple. It's going to take you quicker to repair it than what it would be to order it and to pay the money and to wait for the postage. You can utilize the clasp that was on the actual bracelet rather than scrapping it. Welcome back to the studio. My name is Yaku. Thank you for joining us. Behind the camera is Damia. I've been in the trade forever. I'm just about close to retiring, really.
No, I don't think so.
Damn, this is the team. Hopefully there's something in this video, as always, that you can use in your workshop on your bench. Here's the scenario. Somebody brings the chain in. The chain is absolutely fine. The end tags are fine. The problem is that this clasp is broken. What clasp am I talking about? These little trigger clasps, carabiner or lobster clasps, or however you call them, Italian clasps. The clasp is only going to break because of three things, I'd say. First of all, wear and tear. You could fill that up. The clasp itself malfunctioning, so coming apart, which is probably not the best quality clasp, but they do come apart from time to time. Can be fixed as well. And then the third thing is this little spring inside. You've got precious metal, and then you've got this steel spring in the inside, and that steel spring is susceptible to get corroded, and then it breaks. We have a video that has step-by-step process of how we've actually built a clasp before, so that's very helpful if you wanted to click on that link as well. The clasp was assembled. You can take it apart by reversing that process. The bottom section allows you to do that. It will bring it into two parts of gold and then one part where the little spring is. So the spring part of it needs to be very, very tight, and it has tension continuously because it's holding this clasp closed. But the type of steel that's used to create this little spring needs to be incredibly specific. They call it, when you read up on it, piano wire, but piano wire is not going to cut it. The only thing that I've come across that works really, really well is a guitar string. The bigger the clasp, the bigger the gauge. I'm measuring the gauge that I have, and this spring tells me it's the same gauge as I'm currently using on my guitar's G string. Find the gauge at a music shop or a guitar shop, and you should be able to buy the single string. You don't want to use anything else. It's going to relax in time. A guitar string or a bass guitar string, depending on what you're building, is going to be the exact right material for this. We've got to recreate the shape. Two things to remember here. It has a certain diameter that it coils around. We can't go smaller or bigger. We have to respect what we're taking out. A little clasp that's a little donor clasp can also do the trick by just simply taking it apart and then using that spring. The same size clasp should have the same size diameter spring in. But for now, we're going to have two things we're looking at. There's the diameter, and the second thing is the direction. So if the spring is round this direction or if it's round that direction, it makes a difference because it has a point where it climbs in here and it follows through, and it has a point that comes up to the top. Make sure that the direction of that wind is correct. Once you spun it round, slightly smaller because it will spring up ever so slightly. So go slightly smaller when you're spinning it. You can then replace it. Once you've got your clasp, the bottom section, this is me using
the benefits of B-roll.
Yeah, let me explain it with my hand. This thumb is the opening device. You have your spring coming in from this section, it runs round and it goes out the top, and we have this excess. So you want to cut this little section comes up like this and drops down. As it comes up at that point, you cut it short. So the bottom section is quite a short little leg. Spinning around, and then you leave a little excess towards the top. And then the top section, as it comes out, is just a rogue piece of wire right now. Rogue. We want to shape it, we want to conform it to what the previous one would have done, which is it comes up slightly and then drops down. And that drop down at the front there, it makes it easier for this piece to be fitted back into the section. It's going to live inside the other part of the clasp.
What do you use to work off the spring wire so it's flush? Where's this? Or...
Yeah. I've shaped it, I've cut it, I've also taken this wire and bent it into the right position. Lengthwise, you'll have to play around with it. Leave a little bit of excess, and if it doesn't fit, you can always take it out and shorten it ever so slightly. When the clasp does what it does by pulling up at the top here, you don't want this wire to pull out of this little area, so it needs a bit of excess, and it has been accommodated in the design of the clasp anyway. This is where I've realized, because my head's at 100 different places, that I cut the spring too short. You'll have to go back, repeat the process I've just explained, and then meet me back at this point. Right, so now this is the new spring, which I've left a little section longer at the top. Once you're done with the shaping and you're done with the bottom where you've cut it off, just use a Morse disc and work off the edges over here. We're ready now to reassemble the clasp and put it back in. And I open it ever so slightly more, just so I've got a good open-ended area to slide the other piece in. And once it's in position, there's two parts on the inside that it slips into. You just have to slot it into the first one and then slowly squeeze your clasp down to a point where essentially where it's been pulled like this, it has to be brought back to position like this. Go as tight as you possibly can without constricting the movement of the inside of the clasp. And a lot of the time when a chain comes in, it has a clasp which is specifically made to match the style of the chain. This is where you're almost forced to do this kind of repair. I've worked with bigger bangles, for instance, the ones that open up, and I've just scaled up whatever I've used on the spring on a small clasp to repair those. I hope that this video and what we've explained here stokes a bit of curiosity about what happens inside mechanisms. Now, we love mechanisms over here. I'm currently busy making 3 mechanized rings, and it is an absolute joy. Once you realize how things work, once you demystify it, it becomes simple to do. It makes you a better goldsmith, more efficient, quicker. To see how we've made the entire clasp. Remember, we have done a video. It is linked in the description. This was fun, and we really enjoy making this kind of content because we love what we do. We will see you next time.
Goodbye, you guys.
Cheers!